Let's just take a look back at what we saw last week. The market is still in positive territory. Really good news for the equity market, which is still some 22% down year to date. Just what is your reading of sentiment on the ground at this point?
Basically, I think we saw a bit of speculative trading coming in the past week. We saw some sell positions coming on a few counters, particularly looking at KCB, Barclays. I think investors actually are taking positions before the company released the third quarter announcement. So we actually saw some improved results there. And actually seeing some investors actually coming in to take position on counters that are yet to announce either their half year or third quarter results. So we may see some activity in the market. Particularly with investors coming in, speculative investors coming in to take positions.
You're talking about investors taking positions. I mean, we saw CFC Stanbic, a stellar performance there, rallying some 18.5%, whilst the likes of BBK fell back around 5%. In terms of Barclays, their strategy really was a prudent lending in this tighter, tougher economic environment, also cost-cutting measures, particularly on the staff front. Are we likely to see Stanbic taking the same approach during the period?
Not really. Last year we actually saw one of the major costs was staff costs. I think this was because of the bonuses that were given at the end of the year. But we are yet to see in terms of performance, we expect quite good results from them, considering that they actually got a line of credit about $35 million from the French Development Agency in conjunction with COP Bank to lend out to green energy in terms of companies that are actually looking at producing energy from solar, from hydro, from geothermal. So definitely we may see some good numbers there. Plus also the investment banking arm also made quite good income. Particularly one of the major deals we saw last month coming through was the $250 million that was arranged for the Tanzanian government for infrastructure projects. So definitely we may see some good numbers coming in on the third quarter.
So really focusing on where the focus is in terms of development in Africa. We've got on the one side green energy projects, on the other side infrastructure, and you see this boding well for Stanbic, positioning itself as a front runner in this space.
Definitely. If you're looking at the growing economies, one of the major growth factors is the cost of energy and the demand for energy that's actually growing each and every day. And with a deficit in terms of production, this is actually a good line for them to actually invest in. You're actually seeing a growth in a number of companies that are coming in at looking at cheaper and renewable sources of energy. So definitely it's actually a good way for them to go to.
Let's just move on to this tourism sector, because we're still seeing tourists arriving. The tourism sector hasn't been hit by the rise in terrorist attacks, it seems. You've got bed occupancy sitting at some 70 to 90% in the north region, where this time last year we had it sitting between 50 and 60%. So it seems that aggressive marketing campaign by the Kenyan government is starting to pay off.
Definitely. We've actually seen Kenyan government actually introduce what brand Kenya out there. We're actually seeing a lot of investments coming in, not only in terms of infrastructure, but also in terms of tourism, that people that are coming in. One thing, you know, that the weekend shilling actually also contributed to this, because they're actually getting much more for the dollar in terms of a tourist who comes in, what you used to get earlier for the dollar is actually getting much more value for it right now. So definitely quite some growth on that sector. So we're actually seeing some of the listed counters, particularly KQ, making way ahead of this, by actually pegging its most local and foreign ticketing on the USD. Also, we are seeing the hotel industry might actually make quite some margins from this.
Does TPS Serena, which of course has hotels in the region, have the right portfolio to take advantage of increased tourists, specifically from Asia and Eastern Europe?
Definitely. We even saw them actually increase the line of hotels by actually opening one in the Savo. And this is one of the key areas where tourists actually visit. Definitely, we're actually seeing them actually, they may actually post quite good results coming in for their quarter, particularly if you're looking at the number of tourists have grown. If you're looking at the weakening of the shilling, which now they actually book in income in terms of dollars, but converting to shillings. So definitely for them, we're actually seeing quite good numbers coming in at the end of the year.
In the private equity space, Centum set to release first half numbers on Wednesday. It's got a portfolio sitting at around 140 million at this point in time. Three parts to it. They've got quoted listed equity stocks. They've got the real estate side, and then they've also got the private equity side, which is predominantly invested in beverage companies and insurance companies. Do you like Centum's portfolio at this point?
Definitely. For them to actually swing most of the investment into the real estate business is actually quite a good move by them. If you're looking at the growth in terms of real estate in the region itself, has actually grown quite high. They're expanding their business not only in Kenya but also acquiring some of the real estate projects in Uganda. Definitely that's a plus for them, and we actually expect to see this coming out in the half-year results on Wednesday. Particularly if you're looking at in terms of they actually also set up investment vehicles in Mauritius, particularly to target the real estate area. So for them, actually, we actually expect quite good results for them coming in for the half year by Wednesday.
Also focusing, interestingly, on power generation, really going to be a key driver, considered to be a key driver for earnings going forward. What is your take on the strategy in the geothermal space?
My view remains the same. Demand for power exceeds the supply that's now available in the country, not only the country but in the region. And them actually spreading the tentacles to this line of industry is actually quite good for them. We might see quite good numbers coming in, particularly from the energy sector. Not only if you're looking at most of the companies in that area and the demand that is there, definitely they already have a market for their produce.
We've seen some buying coming into the stock recently, but it's still some 28% in the red for 2011, underperforming the overall index. At 15 shillings 40, what is your positioning on that valuation?
I think we may see investors actually taking positions. Basically, we actually saw it hit highs of about 17 down to levels of about 15, and I think right now it's actually we may see some investors coming and take positions in line of what we expect.
Is it looking cheap
on Wednesday? Yeah, it is looking cheap, definitely. If you're looking at price of 14.70 when it last went down up to 15.30, 15.40, definitely a good buy for me.